had a cousin that lived in Sonora, and we were going in. He has a 85 Toyota pickup, you know, because it has a solid front axle on it. And he would take us out, you know, kind of cruising on trails and stuff. He lived out in the hills. And I remember him saying vividly as he almost tipped his truck, and we're sitting in the cab, all in the driver's seat, trying to not get this thing to tip on us. And he just calmly said, "It's all a game of angles." And I always remember that, thinking how funny it was that he was so calm about almost tipping his truck. And that holds true to this. Getting this out is just going to be a game of angles. Alright, so I have the 113 back in here. So after I ran it through the wood, everything seemed like it was cutting fine, but it just would not idle. I tried tuning it off camera, and I was having the same problem. It's just the idle will drop and drop and drop until it's about to stall out, and then if you give it some gas, it'll get going again. But I'm thinking that we have a reed issue, and what I'm going to do is yank off that carb and take a look at the reeds. So I'll bring you along with me. All right, let's bust her open here. I'm hoping I can take this off without messing with the fuel line too much, because the fuel line looks very, very fragile. So let's see here. We have this bracket in the way. We have a couple of levers here. That looks like it should come out easy enough. And that one, I think they should be fine. I'm just trying to bring this up a little bit. What we want is this black thing here. It's like a spacer. Inside should have the reeds. I'm thinking that they're not flat up against the surface. If that's the case, you flip them over, and that generally does it in terms of the tension. So just looking at this, it has two of these heads here. Let me go get a wrench for that. That looks pretty good. We're gonna want to go lefty loosey here. So looks like the choke's kind of blocking it. Reed valve out. All right, I'm thinking this puppy's got to go. See if I can get with a flathead here. It's like, God, no, you can't get with a flathead. All right. So I put 5/16. Let's see what I got here. 5/16. Alright. Getting this out of the way just so I have some room. Put that right there. So I have some room to kind of scoot this back. Yeah, so much for that, huh? It looks like oh man, I don't even know how to begin to take this thing out. Shouldn't be that. I would think that I could just pry off. Let's see. What do I got down here? That thing is locked in place. All right. Let me check something real fast. All right. I don't know. I'm gonna try to take these off just because I think I can get to them. Try this one. But I don't think I can get them. Oh. Oh. Guess that's all I need to do. Well. Well, there you go. Oh, and that's held on with that. Okay, at least I can move this out. I wonder if I can somehow lift this out of the way. I feel like that carb's gonna have to come out though. Difficult to work on. There's here. So there's like a little tiny cotter pin. Here's a little pin. Try not to lose that, eh? Probably get that out of the way. It wasn't too terrible. Now, all we gotta do, all you gotta do, man, let's get this little linkage off. Let's push this back in. Prying, I guess. Okay. So looking at it, you can see the revalves in there. Something's holding it up though. Let's see. I don't see how anything can be holding it up. Wants to. She wants to. Oh, there's a bolt right there hidden in the stuff. Hysterical. That would make it very difficult to come out. So there's 3 holding it in. That makes sense, because I'm like, damn, this just has the one on the bottom there. Let's see. That bottom one is shorter than the other 2. So we'll make sure that goes on the bottom. So that came out. It's just a little spacer. And it appears to just hold in these reeds. Oh. Fumble. Yep, okay, we got more. So. Interesting. These aren't held on tighter. So this is where the reed valves go, and it appears like they just sit on this. Now this is quite interesting because there is nothing holding these on. Okay. So I got some grease. Oh, don't want that to fall over. Put that right there. And a little dab will be perfect. So let me go get a cloth, wipe these down. Just looking at it, it looks pretty good. I don't see anything that indicates to me that. And that just holds it in place, huh? Very interesting. Okay. There's like these little grooves. Here, let me show you. So here's the reeds, and here's the little housing here. It goes like this. Oh. It goes like that. Make sure you have it going in, right? So it goes like that. But there's nothing, it's just like these little nubs to hold these in, the reeds. And it looks like the housing itself kind of covers it. So you have to kind of put them in without them falling off. So I'm gonna clean these up because they're kind of dirty for me dropping them. But I'm gonna put them on. I mean, everything looks really good with this. They look like they're flush, so we'll just throw them back in and kind of button everything back up. So let's see. Okay. Do the first one here. Just kind of eyeballing it. It's pretty straight. What we'll do is get a little grease on it. Just kind of put her in. Okay, that holds in place. That looks good to me. What we're gonna do is, I found the problem. Here's your idling problem. So that is the problem. One of the reeds broke. That's the problem right there. What I need to do is look it up and how much one of these are. The beauty with the Homelites is that most of the stuff's pretty cheap to come by. So what I'll do is let me get a little Ziploc for these and kind of put them in the thing, but we're gonna need a new reed. So I just kind of put everything loosely back in here, sort of so I know where it goes, but it should be easy to take out. I have the reed valves in there. I just want to tell you a little bit about reed valves. So with 2 strokes, you don't have valves. So like in a 4-stroke, you have valves that let in air and let out exhaust. And that's where you get like timing chains and everything like that, because those are timing up the movement of the valves with the movement of the piston. So when it goes up and down, it opens up and closes when it needs to. And so you don't really have that with a 2-stroke. What it does is the back side of the piston, so your piston head is up here where the explosion is, going, and then you have like an exhaust port down here, and you have these things called transfers. So your carburetor's back here, and when that piston goes down, it actually compresses the air at the bottom of your crankcase, and there's these things called transfers that go around the piston, and it pushes it back into the piston. So now you have your exhaust coming out, pressure, you have pressure pushing the new gas back in, and then it comes back and compresses it, and it does that over and over, and it fires every single time. It's a 2-stroke. That's those 2 strokes. The thing is that you either have reed valves or direct piston driven. So either you have these valves where the carburetor is back here that lets the air in when there's suction, and then they close off so you can build that pressure to push into the piston. If that isn't building pressure, all of that's coming back out the carburetor. So you'll see guys, you'll see units. I have, a lot of chainsaws have it with bad reed valves, is that it's just shooting gas back out the carburetor. And the idle is just really bad because it can't maintain any sort of pressure or anything like that. It might run okay wide open just because it's moving so fast, but it's never going to be 100%. And what you want to do is you want to check these reed valves first, because guys will tell you, crank seals, the thing around the crank itself that turns, they have seals around it. And yeah, a lot of times those are bad, but I don't think they're nearly as compromising as bad reed valves. So in this case, it actually had a busted reed valve. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a look in the cylinder hole real fast, make sure that there's no big scoring or like a piece of metal sitting in there. So I mean, it looks kind of tiny, but just to take a look. The compression feels good, but you never know. I don't know if it broke on me when I was using it or if it was broke before. I will say it's always been hard to idle it, so I'm thinking that it's always been like that. So what I'll do, let me just take a quick look in the piston. I probably won't show you guys unless there's a problem, but yeah, that's what reed valves are. That's what I was looking at this because it had a bad idle. And in this case, yeah, there's a reed valve that was bad. So what we're gonna do is take a look, see how much they are. They might sell them in a pack of 4 pretty cheap. Homelite generally is pretty cheap on the parts. That's why I like working with them. So next time I see you guys, I'll probably either have that part or just be putting this away. So I just took a look in it. Here's the spark plug. That is just a smidge on the lean side, but that's what you want your plugs to look like. This is the original plug. I mean, I'm sure it's probably replaced at some point in its life, but this is a Champion CJ6, the plug made for this, and it's in fabulous condition. Has a little bit of, small bit of carbon buildup, but everything's been burnt off around the insulator there. A little bit of white, and I'm sure it's because the last run we had was a little bit lean near the end. But this thing looks fabulous. This is what you want your plugs to look like. So just maybe not as white on the tip there, but you want to look for that. If it's darker, that means it's running rich. If it's way wider and super dry, then you're running lean. You need to add gas. Otherwise, you're going to burn up everything. Just check the piston. I don't see any scoring and nothing in terms of pieces. So this probably happened a long time ago. So I think we'll be fine. I'm just going to go ahead and proceed and see about finding that piece. All right, we're back. We got the new reed valve. So let's go and put this all back together. All right, here we go. Let's get this new reed valve in. Hopefully this doesn't take too terribly long. So I was able to get the valve from the site, Leon's Chainsaw Repairs. Super cool guy. It's a little shop that you can buy parts and stuff for different chainsaws. They have a lot of Homelite stuff. And I was able to message him about this reed valve, and he was super nice. I bought, let's see what we're dealing with. Homelite. I also bought, geez, what else? Oh, when I worked on that 350, the holder for the spark plug, the little transformer thing, I got it from there. And it was super, like, it wasn't super cheap, but it definitely was quite affordable. So it's very cool, man. Seems like a pretty good guy. Like the shop. So I definitely recommend him. I think that little place is nice. So, all right, let's see if we can see it. Let me get these out. Just throwing them in that they're gonna fall into the cylinder here because it's just open after this. So gonna have to be a little careful with it. Yeah. I mean, heck, you can see the bottom of the crank there. So let me go grab some grease, start getting this little reed pyramid back in. So you see here, just a little bit of all-purpose grease. I have all my reed valves and stuff over here. So we're gonna go, I'm gonna move this down, angle you guys so you can kind of see me put it together. Here we go. Looks like this one's still holding on pretty good, so that's one of them. Nice and flush. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on there just to make sure. She doesn't want to move, so we have that. Put this right here so you guys can see. I have 2 more to do. Just looking at them, they look nice and flat, so get a little bit of grease on this. Just kind of plug her into the hole here. Yeah, it looks nice and flat. So these reeds are gonna be just fine, in my opinion. Okay. Then I got the last one here. Here's the one I bought with the part number. Okay. Looks like all the other ones. All the other ones are sitting pretty flush, so looking pretty good. Let me get a pocket knife here. Looks like you taped it up to the cardboard. Nice and flat. All right, let's add her. I do see out of this one here some cracking. I don't know if it's designed like that. It looks like it might, but that's something to keep an eye on. I see maybe like a little hairline crack on it. It's right at the top there. None of the other ones have it. It's weird. It looks like maybe someone did replace this at one point and just used a different part number or something, so I don't know. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to put this in here very, very gently. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a little flathead here, and while holding on to it, make sure that these all stay in position here. Okay. They look good to me. So I'm gonna button her up. I'm gonna turn you guys off and just kind of put it all together because it's gonna be boring. So I'll get her back together and then get a test run on her. Yeah, so it looks like that definitely played a part in our idling problems there, having that cracked. We're gonna let it tune, or I'm gonna do a cut with it and then try to get a tune in while we're doing that. I'm thinking it could probably go leaner, just let it warm up and obviously get some gas in it because it's gonna run lean right now. The fuel's almost at the bottom, but yeah, I think it should be fine. I'm not going to do anything to it in terms of restoring it. I think it'd just be a fun little saw to have, and possibly, I don't know, maybe see how big of a bar we can put on it because there's a lot of compression. So just have some fun with it. Maybe let people kind of borrow it or something if it runs really well. We're going to get some cuts on it. It has a nice sharp chain, so just have some fun with it. We have another restore project coming up. I think I'm going to do the Super XL as a full resto, and that one we're going to tear down and do everything to. So I think that's going to be the next big project. So that should be fun. Until then, thank you guys for watching. There she is sitting outside. Yeah, she's pretty beautiful, huh? Yeah, I got that for 75 bucks plus that Super XL. So with all I had to do was buy a chain for it, and obviously a little bit of work and the reed valve, but I mean, what? I think it was like 15 bucks for the chain, 15 bucks for that. So it's $30 into it. And then if you split it, it's an old saw, man. Who cares how much they cost, right? Just don't tell my wife. Don't tell my wife, please. All right. Until next time, guys. See ya.
Yeah, see you guys splitting. There we go. The old flathead chisel.
That's all it is.
Just like a little guide pin.